around. It's good to see your face, my friend.
It's great to see your face, my friend. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I do have somebody that I wanted to present today for everybody to meet. This is Mildred Maximus. We call her Millie.
Hi, Mildred.
Yeah, we call her lots of things. She's very sweet. She's right now actually just super active, but so I'm gonna put her down in her crate in a little bit. But I wanted to just bring her out to say hello, right, Millie?
I love it. The cutest thing ever.
Yeah, she's pretty good. All right, hold on. I'm gonna just put her in here. Oh, Millie. Okay. All right. So how have you been?
I've been very good, very happy. And God bless uh, Michael's sermon today, which is like totally stealing my heart. Who doesn't like food, huh? Who doesn't like food?
There are people who really just eat for sustenance. I don't understand it, but I've heard that such people exist.
I'm sure I've met them along my journey. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
probably.
I love it. Well, we have new friends to meet.
We do. And so if they want to turn on their video now, that would be fantastic.
Come on down. Did it? Down.
Hi, guys. So
Hello.
and we thought it would be great to bring on the family, and also because Isaiah is one of our newly appointed vestry members, so we thought it would be nice to get to know him and the family a little bit. And so there's Nhaca and Isaiah and Azariah, and I'm assuming Isaiah is sleeping.
That's right.
Missing one family member. Yeah, he's in his crib.
Yeah. Well, sleeping babies are always good, so we just let them lie. How are you guys handling the life of two children under the age of what, 3?
We're all still alive. And I took a shower today, so.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Victories, yeah.
When Sophia was young, like I would find like days old banana pieces in my hair, and I would just be like, all right, well, that's just how it is right now.
Well, for those who may not know you, would you mind telling us a little about yourself? Where are you? How you've been this past year of COVID time?
Sure. So yeah, we've lived in New York now for over a couple years. We were living in Asia before, and moved back here for work and further studies. And yeah, since COVID hit, where have we been? We initially escaped down to where my parents are in Texas. That was back in March, almost a year ago. It's hard to believe. We're looking back at pictures and just like, wow, it's almost been a year. And then we escaped to Seattle, where Naka's parents are. And we came back at the end of the summer and basically been hunkered down here in our apartment in New York City. Had a baby along the way, and yeah, it's been an exceptional year. So, and this one's gotten big and more of a character day by day.
I love it. Personality showing. Isaiah, did you grow up in Texas?
I did. Yeah, I grew
Where?
up in the middle of nowhere. The place I grew up was an unincorporated part of Texas, which meant we didn't even have a post office, fire department. So it was very, very much the opposite of New York City. But I guess that's what happens, right? Sometimes you just totally flip to the other side, and now I can't even imagine living back there.
Sure.
Mention the most important thing, which is that it was a dry county, so you could not buy alcohol anywhere in the county.
It was a dry county until a couple years ago. So, you had to drive like an hour to buy any booze whatsoever, beer, wine, alcohol. So, things have basically been, they forgot that, prohibition was repealed. So they only realized that happened a few years ago. But now things are pretty much normal, except you can't only wine and beer,
You can't buy hard alcohol.
I see. How far did you have to drive for a Whataburger?
Oh no, that was very close. Yes, that's a cult following.
Right.
How do you know about Whataburger?
What's that?
How do you know about Whataburger?
Oh, I have friends from Texas. I have family in Texas. Yeah, one of my college roommates was from Texas, and I heard about Whataburgers for 4 years until I finally had one. So yeah,
Something of a religion.
I love Texas food.
Yeah.
And Nhaca, how is school going?
It's my last semester, thank the Lord. So I'm, God willing, graduating from law school in May. My theme for this semester is D is for diploma. So as long as I get a D in all of my classes, I will still graduate. And it's going well. I mean, it's all remote. So I basically I log on to one of my lectures and I honestly take a nap. That's what happens. You want to go to the playroom?
You want to say something? That's right. How old?
What do you want to say?
Do you want to say hi to everyone? No. Okay, then you can just read your book, darling.
Show them what book you're reading.
Oh, what book?
Yes, what are you reading?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay.
No, it's a secret.
Oh.
That's okay.
Still reading Christmas books. So he's
Right
insistent
that pretty much every day a Christmas book is read.
Right on.
That's a nice way to draw it out. So I'd like to also ask, when we have couples on, how did you guys meet?
Well, there's two versions. One is we met in class at college in Washington, D.C. And then the other version is we met, depending on who the audience is, we met at a nightclub. But, you know, nonetheless, it was, you know, during our time at college. So.
Oh, sweet.
All right. Well, I think we've got our 10 rapid fire questions, and they're pretty fun and relaxed. So don't stress about them at all. And we totally understand that you guys have kids and another baby might start crying. So don't worry about it. If you need to step in and out of the frame, it's no big deal. So Christopher, do you want to start?
Sure. Here we go. Rapid fire questions. Question number 1. Both of you can answer. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
You go first.
Oh, geez.
Wow, that's a deep question, actually.
I can't think of.
Last time you did something for the first time.
Oh, well, when we moved within, I don't know if this was the last time, but we moved within New York City, which was harder than moving from Singapore to New York City.
I agree. It's not fun at all.
Logistically was a nightmare.
Yeah, so that's hopefully the first time and the last time.
Yes. Within New York City.
New York City.
I agree.
All right. Well, this one will be an easy one. It's just about nostalgia and memory. So who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh.
Orlando Bloom. In Lord of the Rings, I have to say.
Gosh, this continues. The theme continues.
Christine will be so pleased to hear that.
I think Gregory will be pleased too.
Isaiah, would you like to share?
I mean,
he was homeschooled, so I don't know if he knew any celebrities.
Hey, I think it has to be from the same era, right? Kind of when the Lord of the Rings came out. I don't know. I mean, you know, Lord of the Rings also left an impression. So, I mean, Orlando Bloom could have been my first crush as well, as a matter of fact. We thought it was pretty cool how fast he could shoot a bow and arrow. So we would all kind of pretend we were like that. So yeah, maybe the same.
My mom did think he was a girl in Lord of the Rings.
I love it.
Orlando Bloom with mass appeal. I can't match that key. Isaiah looks a little like Orlando. That's what Brian says. Okay, question 2. What are some of your recurring dreams?
Dreams.
Yeah.
Well, I have a dream. I always have a nightmare that I miss like an exam back in college or high school, or that I'm like late to show up for it or something like that, which is, absolutely ridiculous because it's been, so many years since I've been out of school, and yet I get these dreams as if I was, just taking my exams last week. So especially like French class, I get this bad dream that I'm like didn't study my French grammar, and then like I show up and then I like fail the test. So I don't know what that says about me, but that's my recurring dream.
How is your French these days?
It's terrible. I was thinking back, I was like, wow, I took like advanced French in college. I don't remember anything because then I took Chinese and that kind of pushed French out of my head. And so now, yeah, my French is pretty useless. So all that effort for naught.
I'm sure it would come back. It's definitely a use it or lose it type of
Yeah.
It still haunts your dreams. Nhaca, how about you?
I still have those falling dreams. Not all the time, but I definitely have them every so often.
The ones where like your stomach leaps a little. Oh my gosh.
You wake up, you're like that. A little adrenaline in my life.
There was this theory, this urban legend when I was a kid, that if you had a falling dream and you actually like fell on the ground and then died, you would die in real life. Ever heard that?
Oh, like if you didn't wake up before you fell.
Right.
But you never actually die in a falling dream, right?
Well, you usually wake up before you make it to that point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not true, but that was what we all thought in middle school. So
sounds very Freudian. Maybe it's a real theory.
All right, next question. What makes you feel at peace?
At peace.
Quiet, like complete silence. Everyone makes fun of me because I don't like listen to music. I don't watch TV. I don't do anything that creates more external noise in my life. I love just silence and listening to natural sounds.
Spoken like a true mother of 2 young children.
That's true.
Isaiah, how about you?
Yeah, definitely quiet and peace. And recently I've been reading these books on Christian meditation, which is very interesting. Because at least the background I come from, kind of the contemplative approach wasn't really emphasized. So, and I found that to be quite peaceful. Setting aside some time for awareness and to kind of meditate on scripture or whatever else. So that I find helps, especially during COVID era where you can get cabin fever quite easily or lose your mind quite easily. I think it's very useful.
Great.
I love it. Martha, what makes you feel at peace?
That's a good question. I think like there is this early morning practice if I can wake up, particularly because Millie is like a super snuggly dog. So if I get her out of her crate and I can hold her and then I can pray and journal a little bit, that's like the most peaceful moment that I have during the day. But I sadly cannot do that every day. But when it does happen, it definitely sets the day off correctly for me. What about you, Christopher?
First that comes to mind is activity, actually. Like cooking, like arts and crafts, like doing something actually puts me at peace because I'm probably focused on whatever I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
How old is the puppy?
Oh, puppy life is fun. She's a little bit of a non-typical puppy because she's pretty chill. She was the runt of her litter. She was only 3 pounds when I got her. So she was still like, I just spent the first, like 8 or 9 days just kind of like feeding and fattening and bonding. And so she's doing well. She's growing a lot. She's super sweet. We took her a couple times to meet Baxter, who's Christine and Jimmy's dog, who's like 4 times her size, and he has like 1,000 times her energy. So they're an interesting pair. They've got to figure it out, but they'll figure it out. They're fine. Yeah. So, but it's fun. I definitely would tell people that it's a lot of work. So even though it's really cute, like if you have pretty much anything else going on in your life, don't get a puppy.
I think that's good advice. I think we'll have to wait several decades once we've recovered from the exhaustion of kids to consider a dog.
It's true, because even at the beginning, you're waking up in the middle of the night to let the dog out. So, and I haven't done, I mean, Sophia's almost 11. I haven't done that in years. I'm like, what is this? This is terrible. So, yes, definitely everybody should know that happens.
I love it. All right, question number 3. Oh, this is a jolly set of questions. So you'll finish a sentence, but the question is, what is happiness? Happiness is...
Is this supposed to be a whimsical reply? Or is it supposed to be like a deep reply?
I think whatever you feel, happiness is...
My first thought was sleeping through the night without needing to get up and put a small child on my boob. I'll take that.
That's what rapid fire is. Brilliant. Isaiah.
I think the corollary to that is happiness is, some mornings when your coffee tastes like extra fresh or like, hits you in just the right way, that's in my mind, when you have like a morning where the coffee hits you just right, that's happiness, So
those are both.
I hope you appreciate the background music, by the way.
Love it.
Love it.
Thomas and his friends.
Okay, so this next one is aspirational, since we still are in the middle of a global pandemic, but what is the next place on your travel bucket list?
Ooh. Well, we had an aborted attempt to, this was quite tragic, but we're going to meet some family actually in Costa Rica, of all places, because you can travel in and out. So we're going to meet some family there in March, but then we realized that obviously the littlest one needs a passport. And we realized that passport, basically the State Department has stopped working on passports. So all the services where you can get it in a reasonable time frame are just gone. So basically you just have to send it in via the post office and just hope that it comes back to you sometime in the next decade. So we aborted that attempt. But maybe we'll try again once the pandemic's over. Go to some beach somewhere. I don't know.
That's my dream. Warm weather. Just anywhere with white sand and water, and I can bring my children outside without 20,000 layers. That's what I want.
That's a good one. Christopher, where do you want to go next?
Where do I want to go next? I want to go to Italy. Brian and I were supposed to go to Italy last summer, and I've never been. And I have a minor fascination with Italy, through films. I love every movie that's set in Italy. I don't know why, but they're always exciting films or romantic films. There's always something so great about it. So Italy.
Yeah.
How about you?
Food.
Well, they say that when you eat pasta in Italy, you don't put on any pounds. So they say you can just eat it, and you come home light as air. So
you should definitely test that theory out.
I think I will, pound for pound. How about you? Where do you want to go?
Well, Sophia and I have talked about doing a trip to Korea and Japan. So we're Korean, so half of the like, your ethnic heritage thing. And then Sophia is quite interested in Japanese culture, which for Korean people is a little like, but, it's all about reconciliation and love here. So, we'll see if we can make that happen. That's a pretty big trip, and I don't really know when we'll have enough time and who knows when we can travel and all that.
But the beautiful thing is Sophia is the next generation, right? So speaking of reconciliation, so let's bring it on. The food in Korea is amazing. I have been to Korea, so it all comes down to food. All right, here's it's my turn.
It's your turn.
My turn.
We're
this is
introducing another family member, by the way.
Oh, I want to pet. I want
She's
to
extremely poorly behaved.
She doesn't cooperate for anything.
I love it.
But she's our firstborn, so
Well,
the girl.
I love it. Cats, they own us, right? We don't own them. So here's the next question. Next week is Super Bowl Sunday. So in preparation for that, if you were given a 1-minute ad during the Super Bowl, what would you fill it with?
You go first.
What do you think?
That's a hard one.
Gosh. Sorry, it's so loud in here. On the same theme of like peace and my life being super hectic, maybe just complete silence, or like those like calm apps that just like have like water like leaves rustling or a river flowing, just something like that for a full minute. That's what America needs.
A 1-minute meditation, yes.
Very expensive 1-minute meditation.
Very well produced 1-minute meditation. Isaiah, how about you? What would you fill your minute ad with?
I mean, I think the ad from the one Super Bowl ad that like has always stuck with me for whatever reason. A few years ago, there was this like ad for a Dodge Ram, the pickup truck, which I don't own a pickup truck. I never have. And I'm, maybe this is my Texan side, but this ad was so it was like this cowboy on a ranch, and it was just so compelling that I just felt like I had to buy a Dodge Ram. And that ad just like inspired me. I haven't bought a pickup truck. I don't think I ever will, but I really like that ad. So maybe I would watch that one again, I think,
You would watch it?
Yeah. I mean, I would air it, I think it's nice, kind of encouraging to, get people back to the land, to the ranch and stuff. So, I'm kind of a sucker for advertising. That's why people spend millions of dollars for, to convince people like me, why they need something they don't.
Except it didn't work because you didn't buy the Dodge Ram.
That's true. I didn't buy it. But then again, like, I'm in New York City, like I couldn't really even own a pickup truck if I wanted to, so there are certain practical constraints.
So I think it's about like the nature and the adventure and being outdoors. So that sounds like your ad. I can't wait to find a producer for that nature adventure.
As an aside, Isaiah, this last summer I was living upstate, and so had to rent a car. And one of the cars, they just gave me a free upgrade to this gigantic pickup truck. It was called a Jeep Gladiator. So like half of the car was actually like a full-size Jeep, and then you had not the cab, the back pickup truck thing. And it was the most fun I have ever had driving a car. And I was totally like, if I lived in the country, I would have the biggest pickup truck I could find. It was so fun. So I totally get that.
That's amazing. Yeah. Was it hard to drive? I hear actually trucks are kind of hard to like, maneuver.
Yeah. I mean, I think because it was a Jeep Gladiator, it was like a little bit more stylized. So I didn't find it hard to drive at all. Probably like real pickup truck people would maybe think that was a sissy pickup truck, but I was totally good with it. So
it's a good starter truck for sure.
Yeah. So, All right. Here's another fun one. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
You know what's so funny? Yesterday when I was thinking about being on The View, I was like trying to like prepare, like think about questions you might ask and think about what my responses was. And the only question I could think that you would ask is this question. And I came up with an answer, but now I can't remember what it was. Do you have an?
Mine is easy. I mean, to
Oh.
Christopher's point, it's gonna be pasta, you know, so absolutely no question about that.
Oh, I remember mine now. It's Indian dosa. Are you familiar with that? My favorite food in the world.
Wow. Martha, that dosa and pasta. Please have us over. Martha, what's your answer today?
So a full complete meal, like I've thought this question through so many times. It's my favorite. Like if I'm doing a long hike, my friends and I, this would always be the last 3 miles. All we're talking about is like, okay, if you could only have one dessert for the rest of your life, if you could only have, so I have actually gone through so many different iterations of this answer, but I honestly think it would just be pizza and then ice cream afterwards. Just simple. It's like that brings me so much joy, just having pizza and ice cream. And it would be magically completely nutritious. So that's totally fine. Yeah. And Christopher, you?
I can't remember if it's always the same, but it all comes down to like barbecue, like ribs and potato salad and mac and cheese and like every kind of barbecue item. So I think I would just like go to the picnic table and eat and then go back and get more for the rest of my life. Sure.
That is the plan. And Christopher, I'm looking at our last 2 questions, and I think it'd be great to end with yours. So can I pop in and I'll do my last one and then you end with yours? Okay. So your penultimate question is, what's your favorite way to spend a day off? Not that you ever have a day off because you have small children and a cat. If he didn't exist for one day, what would be your favorite way to spend that day?
Oh. You go.
I would, channeling Christopher a little bit, go to Italy my one day and sit like in a beautiful vineyard and drink wine and eat delicious Italian food all day long with Isaiah. Isaiah's invited, but no one else in our family is invited.
Boundaries.
All day. Gosh, that sounds so good right now.
To keep it a little more realistic, I think I would just, assuming I didn't have access to a supersonic jet to go to Italy in one day, I think I would, get out and, drive an hour or so, try to just get some air, So we, like many people during COVID, we finally caved and we got a car. So I would just go get the car from the garage and drive. Just get in and drive. That's what I would do. By the way, this continual noise, our son is riding his Thomas bike around in circles.
You can see him right now.
I think he knows this makes the most noise, so that's why he's doing it.
I think that was 4 laps so far.
There he is again.
Isaiah, is Nhaca invited to your trip or not?
Yeah, she's invited.
That was a given. To me, that was a given. All right, well, this is our final question. I think it's a good one, but it's very hopeful, I hope. What are you looking forward to?
In general, or any,
In general?
For me, definitely this pandemic hopefully being over at some point in the future and just being able to, like my mom hasn't been able to come meet SI yet. I mean, very few family have been able to meet SI and indoor dining. I sat outside yesterday for an hour and a half and I think I almost died.
Oh no, so cold, I'm sure.
But yeah, just this, being with family again without having to worry about that. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I mean, some things that, you know, I'm looking forward to being back in person at St. Peter's.
Yes.
You know, there's something, obviously being on Zoom is fantastic, but, you know, there's something about that, like, you know, just what you do on a Sunday morning,
Yeah.
you know, showing up in person, even if we're the people who are running in and out because of crying babies, like, you know, there's just something about showing up and then, you know, meeting people afterwards, going to lunch or whatever, that, you know, makes your week feel more complete. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It's interesting that a St. Peter's experience, it's like the best thing to end the week, but also to begin the week too.
Exactly.
So, these are great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's it. That's our 10 questions.
Wow.
Hyatt had noticed that Azariah was doing orca impersonations when he was on the camera, and Richard,
I'm pretty sure with all this background noise, everyone's turned down the volume. So,
well,
you know, for those who've stayed, congratulations on enduring, you know, 20 minutes of toddler noise.
well, simple pleasures. I mean, and Richard Tyler Osborne is like totally with you on coffee, and he said he definitely had a door-sized poster of Orlando Bloom in his room as a kid. And pasta and dosas seems to be a running thing, and high fives on barbecue. So, and Christine thinks it's a good idea to include the wifey on any activities you're doing. So, good save.
That is good pastoral advice.
Indeed.
And masks. A plea for masks during the Super Bowl. I agree with you.
Wow.
That's a good commercial.
That's good.
Just like everyone for 1 minute. I love it. I love
Great.
it.
Well, it's been so lovely having you guys. And honestly, it's been fun to see Azariah doing his thing and meeting your cat and all that stuff. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, look at those peeping eyes.
Wait.
All right. Well, everyone, have a good week. And
Have a
see
great
you
week,
next time on
guys.
the
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.